what's happening now is people don't even know what their own interests are anymore. And that's not just Republicans, because
I agree.
It's just this big cesspool out there of misinformation, faux conflict, sensationalism, anger tribalism,
political corruption, income inequality. All of these things are creating a perfect storm. It almost feels like, not to be hyperbolic, but it almost feels like the Weimar Republic right now, right before all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
And by the way, a lot of the same sort of
we have a lot more
contributing factors.
There's a lot more guns in this country than there were then.
Oh my God, 100% more.
So it's scary. And I've been at political events where people had guns. I've been at political events where people are in fistfights. I mean, I was at Standing Rock, which was no walk in the park. And I mean, I'm human. I got nervous in some situations, but I never really feared that something could happen to me. I'll tell you, I am a little concerned because honestly, I think that people are getting this sense that civilization is at stake. We have to take back the country. And it's scary. It really is. Moving on, lastly, Tina, this wasn't quite as awful as the Republicans, but you and I were texting about this the other day. The Democratic Party is dusting off Obama because it's their best. He is their best campaigner. He's a lot more lucid than Biden and other Democrats. They brought him out on the campaign trail in Wisconsin and Michigan and elsewhere. I think Obama, other than Trump, is one of the grade A bullshit artists of our time. Definitely hoodwinked me and a whole lot of other people. Did some good things, but I think he was a real failure in terms of taking on Wall Street after they tanked the global economy. He doubled down on the war machine in Afghanistan. Did nothing as the school shootings and these really the escalation of unarmed black men getting killed. But he went around over the weekend, and liberals were cheering, particularly for a line he had on Republicans going after Social Security. Let's take a look at that.
Some of you here are on Social Security. Some of your parents are on Social Security. Some of your grandparents are on Social Security. You know why they have Social Security? Because they worked for it. They worked hard jobs for it. They have chapped hands for it. They had long hours and sore backs and bad knees to get that Social Security. And if Ron Johnson does not understand that, if he understands giving tax breaks for private planes more than he understands making sure that seniors who've worked all their lives are able to retire with dignity and respect, he's not the person who's thinking about you and knows you and sees you, and he should not be your senator from Wisconsin. I mean, the message he's sending is pretty clear. If you're related to him, if you donate to his campaign, you get a deal. If you're not, you're out of luck and you're on your own.
Sounds good. I like the knows you and sees you part. The only problem is I don't think anyone in that audience knows that he tried to cut Social Security when he was president as part of the grand bargain with McConnell, which was never going to happen. This just a reminder, this is from The Intercept. Obama wanted to cut Social Security, then Bernie Sanders happened. The Obama administration argued in 2012 for reducing Social Security benefits by recalculating the way cost of living adjustments are made, and endorsed an explanation of Social Security for the first time on Wednesday. Again, this from The Intercept in 2016. Quote, "We can't afford to weaken Social Security," he said in a speech in Indiana. "We should be strengthening Social Security. And not only do we need to strengthen its long-term health, it's time we finally made Social Security more generous and increased its benefits so that today's retirees and future generations can get the dignified retirement they earned. The increased benefits," he said, "could be paid for by, quote, asking the wealthy to contribute more." This was a far cry from the administration on the program in 2012, when his administration argued for reducing Social Security benefits by recalculating the way cost of living adjustments aren't made. So I mean, it's not saying that there's an epidemic of people trying to become cats. It's not.
But Jordan, this is why the Democratic Party is contributing to the problem, because they're not really fucking meaning anything that they say, right? And people are fed up with it. They don't believe the lies anymore. They're angry about what happened in 2016. These are massive contributing factors to where we are in the country right now today. And at some point, the Democratic Party is going to have to come to terms with it. They can't keep just saying lies about how they're helping the working class when they turn around and say, yeah, okay, Mitch McConnell, maybe we can work a deal here and we'll cut some of that back. No, people want the Democratic Party to be stronger. They want them to engage in a game of chicken in which they're not driving off, where they're just going to face and like, no, you guys are the ones that are going to back away this time. But they never do it. And it's part and parcel to the problem.
And by the way, do you hear any Democratic Party candidate, name one, that is attaching themselves to the Amazon workers unionizing or trying to? The Starbucks workers trying?
Bernie did know a little bit, or am I wrong?
I'm talking about running right now. I'm talking about.
No, they should be campaigning on that. You're right.
I mean, I don't hear any. I mean, there's Republicans in
Although
these,
Carrie Bass, I will say this, she did mention that stuff in her speech on what day was that with Bernie Sanders? Which I was like, all right.
How kind of her to mention it. I'm talking about. I'm talking about campaigning, going where these union drives are. There's workers on strike.
No, I agree with you.
10-inch unions. I mean, kind of popular. There are right wingers. I've met them that are in these unions that voted for Trump.
They're financially hurting too. I mean, So here's the thing. If the Democratic Party literally addressed some of these issues, maybe these folks wouldn't have been voting for Trump in the first place. What, 9% of voters is the exit polling on that had voted for Obama went to Trump or something like that?
10% switch from Obama to
Trump.
That
is a fucking huge changeover. And it's all due to the Democrats not doing anything to earn their votes. And the way they earn their votes is addressing the income inequality. It's that straightforward.
And by the way,
Jordan, you're getting me all worked up.
That's good. By the way, it's also, it's a nice position. If your top worry is the fate of democracy, you're probably not uber struggling to pay for gas. You're probably not like worried you might not pay the rent this month. More or less. I think most people, if your top concern is like you're an MSNBC viewer in democracy, you're doing okay. But most people, if you're struggling, even before this latest 2 years of inflation, you used to be able to, feed your raise the kids and have a good life on maybe one parent working. Now both parents are working multiple jobs, or you have one parent. Or you have to make choices. I spoke with kids when I was on the road. They're pulling their kids out of Little League because they can't even afford the $150 to pay whatever volleyball for their kid. When your main thing is survival, you're not really focused on, these people are extremists on the Republican side, or you're focused on, I want change. So you're always, and the pattern is you're gonna blame the party in power. But if that party in power, we're talking even small things. I'm telling you, if
the smallest of things at this point would make a big deal.
If Biden would have went to war with Manchin just on the child tax credit, just that one thing, because I know for a fact that helped a lot of families. To me, it's not enough.
It was a Band-Aid. It wasn't anywhere near enough, but at least it was a Band-Aid.
He could have used the whole bully pulpit of the presidency against Manchin. Yeah, people would say, "Oh, Jordan, you wanted him to then become a Republican? Fucking so what? So what if he moved to the Republican Party?
He might as well be. Who cares?
How different would it make things? Okay,
it wouldn't make things different at all. That's the point.
You wouldn't get the Inflation Reduction Act. Let me tell you something, Tina. You're in LA. Are those tax incentives in the Inflation Reduction Act? Are they going to be the difference between you having 110 degrees in the fall? No. Tax incentives for climate should have happened 20 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, it's too late. I mean, the fact that they were putting this as like the biggest climate change policy legislation ever, I was like, well, yeah, that might have made sense back in 1995, but are you kidding me? That ship sailed. We need to do like drastic things at this point.
And also, I think people are getting kind of tired of this is just rinse and repeat. Like if I showed that clip of Obama and I didn't say it was over the weekend, it might have been him on the campaign trail in 2012.
Yeah.
in 2016. I mean, it's not wrong. The Republicans do want to cut Social Security, but they're not running on anything real. They just keep running on Republicans.
We're not the other guy. Yeah, it's not good enough anymore. Yeah.
And I think the candidate, even for president, I think it would be very difficult to beat Biden if he runs again, in a primary campaign. Not because Biden's so great, but it's never been done for somebody to beat an incumbent president.
The DNC
primary.
would frown on this. They would find every way possible to thwart whatever that was. I agree.
But if a candidate, whether it's a progressive, an independent, whatever, if they ran on forget Congress, we have a dysfunctional government. If you elect me president, here are the executive actions I'm going to take, and here's my plan for addressing the legal challenges. Here are the executive actions I'm going to take. Here's the plan once the tsunami of legal challenges come in, and that's it. Very specific. And you call them corrupt, because I think that's a big part of it. I think that person could be very competitive. I don't know if they would beat Biden, because I mean, you think they did shit to Bernie? Wait till somebody primaries Biden. But yeah, I mean, it's just, listen, not all crazy people, not all MAGA people are MAGA because they're economically insecure. I've met plenty of people that are just crazy or just bigoted, but it's nuanced.
Or also uber wealthy and benefiting from, but see, people just want it to be one or the other, right? What it's a mix of these things, right? Are uber wealthy people benefiting from Trump also supporting him? Yes, of course, that's a given. Does that mean that that's the only contingency that's supporting him? No, of course not. I mean, things are not that simple, but people, I don't know, there's a tendency at this point for everything to have to go neatly into a box, right? Everything's team sports, and I want to be able to root for my team. It's just not helpful.
At the end of the day, we're all being fucked. It is a one-party duopoly, but I'm also not going to have false equivalency. I mean, the Democratic Party is not telling you, urging you to be violent. They're not putting out tweets about stolen elections.
No, they're just weak. They're weak.
Right.